Here we go. So what I have in this equation is y equals x squared minus 16. And I'm going to show you how to solve this by not factoring, but actually the square root method. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find some square root methods. But however, we know that this one is very easily factored by using the difference of two squares, because we noticed that our a was 1, which is a square number, and then 16 was a square number, and we're finding the difference. So if we were going to factor this by solving, remember we're going to set this equal to 0. We know that we could easily rewrite this as x minus 4 times x plus 4. Therefore, x minus 4 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. So x equals 4, and x equals negative 4. Now, that was by solving, by factoring, using the difference of two squares. When using the square root method, we can always solve a problem with difference of two squares using the square root method as well. Anytime we have an equation that's in the form of ax squared plus c, we can apply the square root method. Now, what's nice about the square root method is it works for all equations in this format, where the difference of two squares only worked when c was a square number and a was a square number. So how would I solve this by the square root method? Well, what the square root method is going to do is we're going to use the inverse operation of the squaring function. So the first thing to solve, I'm going to set this equal to 0, x squared minus 16. Then what I'm going to do is, since I only have one x squared, I'm going to isolate the variable. So therefore, I'm going to add 16 to both sides. Therefore, I have 16 equals x squared. Now, we call this the square root method because now I'm going to use the inverse operation of x squared, which would be to take the square root. So I'm going to take the square root. Well, the square root of x squared, those are going to be inverse operations. And then the square root of 16 is going to be plus or minus 4 equals x. So remember, whenever you're introduce the square roots, you have to make sure you take the positive and the negative, because 4 could be positive or negative. Squaring it is going to give you 16. Well, you can see that x equals plus or minus 4, which is the exact same that we had with our solving by difference of two squares. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you solve with the square root method. Thanks.